If you enjoyed the channel and our video content and would like to support us, you can do this in a couple of ways. You can sign up to our Patreon site, which is a monthly subscription to one of our 4 tiers, each giving you something different from early access interviews up to exclusive unseen footage. There's also the option of a one-off donation via PayPal, which allows you the option to donate an amount of your choice. Both options really help to keep this channel going and to continue putting out regular content for you good folk. So please take a look at aircrewinterview.tv/donate, and I thank you in advance. Thank you and enjoy.
Well, I was telling you one other thing about we did with when I was at Lucas with the Phantom. We used to practice our intercepts from ground level right the way up to the highest level. The RAF used to hire Concorde to come down the North Sea at 60,000 feet at Mach 2, and we'd line up the fighter world, which in those days was mainly Phantoms, to intercept Concorde. Well, I can tell you that I carried out a very successful intercept on Concorde, but I never saw it because I launched my head-on missile, and that was one of the big advantages of having an aircraft where you had missiles that were rear hemisphere missiles and missiles which were head-on. I launched it at a great range. Never saw Concorde, but my system, because we could simulate the system very well, that did the job.
So you can just call up, I don't know, British.
Well, you called up, in the fighter world, Fox 1 is a radar missile basically. That Fox 1 would be my call for the head-on missile. Fox 2 would be the rear hemisphere missile, and Fox 3 was the gun. One night I was airborne with my wingman. We got airborne about 11 o'clock, went up on the tanker in fact, and took fuel on. I had three fuel tanks on, so I fueled to full. So I had plenty of fuel, but unfortunately my number 2 went US and had to go back to Lucas. Now, so there I was at 11:30 at night, not much trade around at that time of night, so we thought, what are we going to do? So we went on a practice diversion to Lossiemouth. That was the first thing, get the fuel down a bit. But we were so heavy you couldn't do a roller, and this is another difference. I'll talk about that in a minute, landing the Phantom. So anyway, I was too heavy to put the wheels on the ground, so it was going to be a low overshoot. So I came down the approach in this very heavy, full fuel aircraft, and as I overshot, came down, everything okay, opened the engines up to overshoot, and there was an almighty bang, and the whole sky lit up. I could see instantaneously, because I could see that my right-hand engine had seized. Air traffic control said to me, "You're on fire, you're on fire." I put a mayday call out, because in that situation I had an engine that seized. Fortunately the failure was contained because we had containment shields, and but if you've got blades that have been shedded all over the place, so it goes into the other engine and take the other one, you've got a real problem. I had a real problem anyway, because the Phantom at that weight wasn't going anywhere really until the reheat lit on the good engine. So I was in a mayday situation at that point. As soon as the reheat lit, I breathed a sigh of relief, and downgraded the mayday to pan. I think it was about that point that my back seater said, "What the is going on?" Anyway, I dumped fuel at that point and landed at Lossiemouth, and we went to the bar, the bothy bar they had there, and by this time it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and anyway, the air trafficker came up to me and said they'd picked up a bag and a half of blades
Wow.
on the runway. I can show you a photograph of what the engine looked like.
Yeah.
It was a complete wreck.
A write-off then.
Oh, worse than a write-off. You'll see the photograph in a minute.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting experience, landing the Phantom. I've got to say that as far as I'm concerned, I found the angle of attack indicator an exceptionally useful piece of kit. And in the Phantom, it was great in the Tornado as well. But in the Phantom, it was up by the gun sight, so you could look at it as you're coming down, and it was very good for all forms of flying, because that sort of told you when you're in the best position. But landing it, the aircraft was designed to land on a carrier.
Yeah.
You didn't land it; you just flew it in. So I've always said that the Phantom was the easiest aircraft to land that I flew, because you didn't have kick-off drift and sort of flare and things like that. You just flew it in. It was a tough machine.
What was the best thing about flying the Phantom?
I think the best thing was flying an aircraft as capable as that at the time. Mm-hmm. That's definitely, you knew. It's like everything, you train for it. You use the kit, you train for it, and with the Phantom you had a very capable aircraft.